It's not getting into the land of the dead is the problem. It's getting back. Hi guys, welcome to this new episode of Kreabox. Today we're going to play with 3 different softwares. We're going to create a puppet of this animation in Adobe Illustrator. Then we're going to animate the puppet in Character Animator. And finally we're going to create our final composition in Adobe After Effects. So let's get started. The first thing that you have to do while you're creating puppet is to think in the bone structure where your mesh is not going to fold in any way. So it is quite a representation of bones. So I'm going to go with this bone structure, taking consideration your articulations, and that way you're going to have a better result while you're creating your animations. So have this quite of a, I'm going to go with this bone structure. Try to use the mirror effect in order to have quite a good idea about proportions. Try to invert your drawings in order to detect some problems in your structures. Create the eyes. The eyes are a technique, or is a technique that I'm going to use through this series of tutorials. It is just a composition of 3 different shapes, 3 different circles, and ovals in this way. Create these smoky eyes. The pirates do love these smoky eyes, so go ahead and create those smoky eyes for this Captain Barbosa. Create the iris and duplicate the eye. The illuminations here and there. Now create the nose. The nose, it is a ball. Just a circle, but you can with lights create the illusion of a bubble, of a sphere. Now touch the lights in the eyelids and create the eyebrows. The eyebrows is quite of a, I'm going to go with a different shape. I'm not quite satisfied with this shape. Yeah, this is better, something more round. And this with this evil position, this evil face, this evil frowning. Create the lights, multiply the eyelid, put it up the other eye. Now retouch the nose and the mustache. Create the nostril and go ahead. Yeah, some quite detailing in the light. Remember that while you're creating your puppets, you must think or take in consideration your source of light. In this case, I'm going to illuminate the whole scene from the back. So lights have to kind of follow where are you going to put your illuminations. So create these illuminations here to create illusion of cheekbones. Now go for the beard. And the head, the feathers. Yeah, keep going, adding some details in the beard all the time. Time to create elements with three kind of values under coloring: the local color, the highlight, and the shadows. Now go for the body. I'm creating the naked body. That is the best way in which you can have a good idea about your character proportions. In that way you can create the clothes according to that proportions. So that is a good or a foundation. At least it is something that I like to have the body, and from there in other layers create the clothing. Now go for the muscles. If you want to have, I want to have this character to be a fit person, a skinny fit person, taller, longer legs, etc. Now you can go with the fit person or with a fatty person. It is just a matter of how you're going to illuminate your abdomen or the belly. Now go for the pants. It is the first piece, the clothing. Create a folding. The folding, it is not qualified yoga pants, so foldings are going to be there, hidden there. Create illumination in order to create the illusion of volume. Now let's going to create the skull. The skull is quite the symbol of this saga. I do love this kind of a symbols, the Transformers, the Decepticons, Star Wars. All these symbols quite are representations of things that I do love. So in this case, this skull is the symbol of the pirates on this saga, Pirate Island. Let's go to retouch the hands. It is fist. Those are fists. Yeah, keep going. Retouch the belt. Retouch the belt. Add the details of the white shirt. Now go and create the illusion of or volume of the belt. Create some ambient occlusion at the end of your sleeves. Volume to your jacket. Now refine the feathers. The feathers are quite simple shapes, and then we just create one and multiply it. When you have elements that are quite the same, like coconuts or rocks or things like that, just create one element and then just multiply it. At this same way, I'm going to create these bottoms. All of these bottoms. Refine the hands, multiply it, reflect it, create some highlights for your clothing. Remember that the highlights must be placed where you're thinking. The illumination is going to be placed at your render and scene. Now let's going to I'm going to light a little bit the skin tone. I don't want him to be that brown. I want him to be a little more Latino, more brownish, but lighter. Now let's add some highlights, the muscles, more part of the anatomy. This shadow that I created behind the beard is the occlusion that I need, the ambient occlusion that I need to create the illusion of three-dimensionality, that it is a surface there behind the head. Now I'm going to work on the gam that I've created in a tutorial apart. You can look for that tutorial in this series of tutorials. This is quite the structure that you need for your puppets in Character Animator, so it is a good way for you to remember this syntax, the hands, the fold, switch point. Nonetheless, you can name them as the way that you want it, but this is the best way for you to go to have quite an order and to follow as well other tutorials. So take in consideration this. It is you're going to have this separation of groups: hands, the arm, the sleeve, the arm, the left and the right arm. You're going to have groups that must contain any sleeve, the arm and the hand, And into the group of the hands, you're going to have your different shapes, the different positions of your hands, like a pointy hand, like something like a hand grabbing a tool, or like a fist. So in the group of the hands, you're going to put all of the gestures and positions of your hands. Then you must group these hands with an arm and then with a sleeve, and in that way you create, or you are creating, the left or the right arm. In this case, we're working at the right arm. Remember that you can name them the way you want it. Nonetheless, follow this structure. It is the best way to go, and in this way I just want the hand with the gun to be the switch, which means that I'm going to trigger this hand with this gun with just the need of a key, or to press a key while I'm recording my animation in Character Animator. Let's go to name all of these elements the way that you really need them, and yeah, let's create the arm. Remember to follow this structure. A group is a group of hands. The arm is a group of a sleeve, an arm, and the hands. Now let's going to do the same thing with the left arm. Let's group the left arm with the hands, the arm, and a sleeve. Put all of these elements, align these elements, and just put it in order. This is the PG of the body, the background. The PG background is the body. In this case, I'm not going to separate the legs. I'm just going to have a full body. And this is the way in which you need to group the body, the background, the left arm, and the right arm. This is an important part of your animations. Try to have a good control of the sizes and your puppets. Since you are working in vector outwards, remember that you all the time can increase the size without compromising the quality of your vectors. It is vectors, they are mathematical calculations, they are not bitmap images. So, but nonetheless, it is a good workflow to have 100% the size of the 100% of the character to fit the sizes of your scenes. In this case, I'm working with a scene of 1280 pixels by 720 pixels, which it is high definition, the high definition format. So the character will be higher than that. When you are going to create animations, try to work with the double of the sizes if you're going to create PNGs or images. Now let's going to group or create the groups that compound the face, the head, which are the pupil. You have to group the left and the right eye with the pupil, with the eyeball, and the blink state. That's the group of each eye. Now let's going to create a head. So the groups of the head are these ones. The eyes, the eyes is right eye and left eye. Inside the eye, each eye, you must place the right pupil and the right eyeball. In the other eye, you need to place the left pupil and the left eyeball. So those are the groups. Take in consideration, when you put a plus in front of the name, then you are assigning or telling character animator that this element, this layer, have movement for itself. So the eyes, you really need to have this in consideration, but you can change this in character animator to create other effects. But in this case, just is quite the reason, because you have to put a plus sign in front of some elements. In this case, you can do it with your right and left eye. Now create the mouth. The mouth is the other group. Inside the mouth, you're going to have all the shapes, the letters, all your smiles, your angry faces, or the shape of the mouth, your words, in order to create the lip sync in character animator. So that's exactly what I'm going to create here. You have to create the layer, the group that it is mouth, and inside the mouth you're going to have a smile, the neutral, the A, and all of these gestures that you require to make your character to speak. You have to create the different shapes, fine, or go slow in order to look the shape of this and every shape. Open mouth, the F have quite of a pretty particular effect on the mouth, the English F. This shape is pretty much just the teeth. This is the F. So just create the different shapes for your mouth. You can cheat and a little bit. I'm just stole this from another animation. So I'm just quite modifying this mouth in order to save a lot of time. But you have to alter your illustrations to fit your character, obviously. Now place the face, place the mouth. Now let's go for the nose. In this profile, it is the frontal view, so I want to be the nose like this. I'm going to create this ambient occlusion here over the mouth, covering a little bit of mouth. Oh, no, I'm to believe that the mouth must be placed in front of the nose in order to not interfere with the width of the lips. Check for the how the layers appears when they are activated, and move around your mouth accordingly to have a better idea that it is the same mouth, just changing the shapes, but the same. Those gestures are quite located at the same place, over the same sound in some way. So I have to move some elements here and there, and then this guy go below, this guy is Yeah, I'm done with this, with the mouth. So let's going to clean a little bit this illustration, and now let's going to work, refine. I want this to be below the mouth. I want to be the mouth to be over the nose, to not interfere with the breathing of the letters and the shapes of the mouth while the character is talking. I do believe that this shadow, this occlusion, the occlusion that it is behind the nose, I do believe that I'm going to put this occlusion in every shape of the mouth. I feel that it does work better in order to have quite the illusion that the occlusion is over the mouth. So I'm going to do it. Try to pay close attention to the details, because the lighting, the shadows, and the ambient occlusion on your elements quite make a lot of difference in order to identify volume and elements that are in some way three-dimensional. Move the shadows. So I do believe that I have done with this puppet. So the idea, as I said, it is a main group, that it is the name of your character, in this case Captain Barbosa. Inside this group you have to have two subgroups. One subgroup is going to be named the head, and the other one is going to be the body. Inside the head you're going to have another set of subgroups. The first one is the eye, the right eye and the left eye. Inside the left and the right eye you're going to have the left pupil and the left eyeball, as well the blink, which it is the blink state. In the other right you have to have as well the left pupil and the left eyeball, and as well a blink state. Put together your puppet with a body with a left arm and a right arm. That's the body. Inside the right and the left arm, the hands, the arm, the sleeve, and inside the head you're going to have, as I said, the eyebrows, the eyes, the mouth, the nose. And that's it. I do believe that I finished with this puppet, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and understand quite the principles of groups that you require to create your puppets, to animate them into character animator. So as always, subscribe if you have the time, and have a great time while you're creating your own worlds.